Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video it is Sunday, so it is Pits and Peaks Day. So if you are not familiar with this style of video on my channel, I talk about things that didn't go so well for the week being my pits for the week, and things that went better this week being my peaks for the week. I didn't do a Pits and Peaks last week just because of everything that's been going on with the kitchen, the sort of pre-emptying and prepping for the kitchen fit to be ripped out and the new one to be installed took a bit longer than expected, so there's been a lot of interruptions to my routine, and a lot of this kitchen stuff is stored in our living room. My Mac is in the living room, and the table that I store my Mac on is being used as like a temporary kitchen surface basically for our microwave and kettle and things like that. And just because everything's took so much longer, we were still working on the kitchen like the day before the kitchen was due to be like ripped out, so I just didn't have the time to sort of film in the sort of lead up to all the kitchen work being done. So yeah, I didn't get a chance. So I've done my best to sort of cram everything that I want to talk about into this video, so I am going to get on with it because I don't want the video to be too long. So we're going to talk about pits first so we can end on a high with the peaks. My first pit for this week is that the kitchen is not finished. So the kitchen designer that we had that did all our designs said that the kitchen would take about 3 days to fit. Originally I thought that was a bit optimistic. I thought it would take a few days more than that. The kitchen fitter said in his pre-fit survey sort of thing, when he was looking at all the plans and doing like final measurements, said that he expected it to take a week. And yeah, a week has been and gone. I think we're just over a week now and the kitchen is nowhere near finished. There is no appliances working in there, there's no sort of temporary sink or anything like that, so things are taking a lot longer than expected. So that is really playing havoc with a lot of my plans and my routine and things like that, just sort of having the stresses of all that going on. Obviously with us having cats, I can't leave the house while the kitchen fitters are here, just because if they opened a door and the cats got out or whatever else, then I'm not there to sort of deal with that, and I'm not there to sort of supervise. So I haven't been able to leave the house, and turns out that the kitchen fitters don't leave the house at all, not even for a break for their lunch. They have a little sort of kitchen setup of their own in our conservatory that they use every day, and they don't leave the house. So yeah, I'm stuck there from the moment that they arrive until the moment that they leave, and yeah, it's just playing havoc with routine. So I'll touch on that in a minute for my next pit. My next pit is that I haven't run for 2 weeks and I'm quite annoyed about that. It's no fault of my own. I know sort of my limits and things that work best for me, and I haven't been working to those schedules that I know work for me. So I know that if I put off a run in the morning, the chances of me doing it in the evening are very slim, and even more so with the stuff that's going on with the kitchen at the moment. I have no time in the evening to run, and if I miss that morning slot to run, then it's pretty much done for the day and I have to restart. So I've not had the motivation sometimes in the morning to run. I've just had a real lack of motivation this week and last week to run, just with everything that's going on and with us being so busy with the kitchen and being preoccupied. So yeah, not ideal that I haven't run for the last 2 weeks. I am hoping to sort of pick it back up tomorrow, or well, I will definitely be picking it back up tomorrow. Not ideal to have not run at all for the last 2 weeks. I did want to touch on that as well. I have been having some really bad body image days again. These reoccur quite often at the moment just because of obviously me not being happy with my body and how it looks, and I just get these days every now and again where I just don't want to go out for a run. I don't want to have people look at me. I haven't had the option to go on the treadmill. All the kitchen was stored in the conservatory, so I've not the treadmill is folded up basically at the moment, so my only choice is to run outside. And I've just been having weird body image days lately where I don't want to go out, I don't want people seeing me running, I don't want people seeing me in shorts and things like that. So yeah, it's been really difficult in that respect. On Wednesday last week I got all dressed for running. I was ready to sort of go out and just face the music sort of thing and go out for a run and see how things went. However, I stood at the door for a couple of minutes just basically convincing myself of all the reasons why I shouldn't go out. Like, people will be watching, people will be seeing my body and my thighs and whatever jiggling, and it'll be really hard because I haven't run for a while. But then in the back of my mind it's like, well, if you don't run then it's always going to be hard because you're putting it off even longer. Just really illogical things like that. And like, there's kids going to be out that are going to school and whatever else, but obviously at the time didn't really think about the fact that the kids were on school holidays, so no kids would have been there. But basically just, I was in my head convincing myself of all the reasons why I shouldn't run, and yeah, so I got undressed and didn't run that day. And I think that was the same day that I sort of had this sort of breaking point, if you will. I put a story up on my Instagram. I'll leave it here for anyone that's interested if you haven't seen it. You can always follow my Instagram as well because I tend to update there quite often. But basically I was just in a really fed up mood of everything that was going on. I was fed up with myself, with not just forcing myself to go out for a run. Like, I know as soon as I step out the door it's going to be fine, but it's getting out the door. So yeah, I was really frustrated at that point, and just really fed up in general of how my journey's been going, with me not really making much progress weight loss wise, and yeah, just generally fed up with whatever was going on. And I had quite a big outreach from that, a lot of messages, and it really allowed me to sort of, I guess, dig deep in the reasons why things weren't going the way I planned and why I wasn't making progress and things like that. I think it's helpful sometimes to sort of be open and honest with how you're feeling and get other people's feedback. And there was a lot of people that messaged me that were in the same scenario, that had some advice to give. I will touch on this in a bit because I do have like I guess a mini announcement with regards to that. Just, it's been a bit of a mess in regards to sort of my runs. And then my final pit for this week is that I have not tracked at all. Haven't really, I guess I haven't really been bothered with my nutrition this week and last week, and with us not having a kitchen and having to live off microwave meals and live day to day going to the shop to get what we needed for food. It's just not been a focus to eat under calories or eat specific things in order to keep on track. I just wanted to get everything out of the way and I can start on a fresh slate. I know that sort of means that all the goals that I set at the beginning of the month are starting to slip behind, but at the time I didn't really think about the kitchen and the bigger impacts and what would happen if things were delayed, and I'm just going to have to sort of deal with the consequences and hope that I can pick it back up in the sort of second half of the month. It's not ideal, but there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to have to wait until the kitchen is done, and then once it's done we can sort of go shopping and get everything that we need to sort of start afresh, basically. So that is my final pit for the week. So my peaks for this week. So my 10k steps has been going really well. I've been keeping really active with that and walking around quite a lot. I think I'm on like day 23 or something like that with my 10k steps. So at least for the last 2 weeks I have been doing some sort of exercise even though I haven't been running. So I'm taking that as a positive, and yeah, quite happy that that is still ongoing. The next pit that I have is following on from that meltdown sort of thing that I was talking about on Wednesday. I am feeling in a much better headspace than I was back on Wednesday, and I've made some sort of decisions with regards to my social media and my YouTube channel that I will be doing going forward. So I have decided to drop Laura Fat to Fit as my social handle. I'm not able to change it on Instagram just yet because it has this rule. I had another account that had the name that I want to take, so I've had to change the name on that, and I've got to wait for it to unlock for like 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm waiting on that to change my Instagram handles. So I'm going to step away from Laura Fat to Fit because I feel like at the end of all the conversations that I had with people, based on the stories that I did, I realised that I have been in like a constant battle with my past self, and I compare a lot of things to how things went on my previous weight loss journey, and in the grand scheme of things a lot of things have changed. I was in a different house, I was living with other people. Me and Philip were living with his mum, and Philip was losing weight as well at the time, so I had that accountability there, and I feel like I'm constantly comparing myself to how things went then, and I guess wondering why things are harder this time round than they were the last time I lost weight. But obviously the circumstances are completely different, so I shouldn't be comparing myself to how things went back then. And just in general, I want to sort of not take the focus away from weight loss, because obviously I do want weight loss to still be a focus, but I do want to be able to talk about other things on my social media and things like that that I felt like I was restricted with, because I was Laura Fat to Fit on Instagram, so I felt like I was only really restricted to weight loss and fitness, whereas I want to sort of be able to broaden what I talk about and be able to put things like a kitchen transformation on my Instagram without people thinking, well, it's not fitness, so why am I saying this sort of thing, and to basically just give myself like a fresh start and a clean slate, sort of put the past behind me. I'm not going to obviously completely forget about the things that happened before, because I am still proud of my journey back then, and I don't think it's good to sort of just wipe the slate clean and completely forget about it, but I do think I have to sort of let go of the past and how things went and how successful I was then, and just sort of live in the now and adapt for the situations now, basically. So yeah, you will probably see if you go to my channel that I've just completely stripped Laura Fat to Fit from there. When I comment on people's channels and things like that, it will just have my full name rather than Laura Fat to Fit, and in the next week or so my Instagram should be able to be changed over, so I'll just be dropping that. So that is my sort of big decision. I do think it's going to be a good change for me to sort of have that fresh slate, if you will, and basically live in the now and deal with how things are going now rather than sort of comparing to my past self. So that is sort of one announcement out of the way. I think that is it for Peaks. The only other thing that I've got to mention is that I have an exciting announcement coming tomorrow. I will have a video out on my channel tomorrow, basically talking about my new venture, if you will, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I just sort of generally hope that the kitchen is finished soon and I can not have that sort of mess between when I can go out for my run, because I have had occasions where I've gone out for a lunchtime run or I've hopped on the treadmill at lunch and I just haven't been able to do that. I've been restricted to going out in the mornings, and if I've been particularly tired in the morning, if Philip has woke me up early and I've not had as much sleep, then I'm just not as motivated to do it in the morning, and I've just no time for the rest of the day to fit it in. So I'm hoping that over the next couple of days the fitter will be able to make some headway and get it all finished, and then I'll be able to get back to a proper routine. But I do promise that I'm going to be getting out for a run tomorrow. I promise to myself, and I'm just saying it for accountability reasons, that I will be getting out for a run tomorrow morning before the fitter arrives. So yeah, yeah, I think that's it for things that I'm going to mention. I know I've mentioned, a lot. I did get a sort of sarky comment about that. I apologise if it annoys anyone, but there's nothing I can do. Right, so I'm going to end the video here. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can always click the notification bell down below and be notified of when my videos go live. Other than that, I hope you're all staying safe and well. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.